Welcome to Real Truth and Power. Come on into the building, family. Let's get it in today. We're going to get on Herschel. Welcome to Real Truth and Power Podcast, where we provide health, wealth, and knowledge itself. My name is Everett Winchester. We got an important topic. We're going to be talking about reparations. Man, one of my favorite football players when I was younger. I hope we don't have to give him the Sambo Coon alert and put him on blast, but he made some interesting topics. We're talking about Herschel Walker right after this.
You are now tuned in to Real Truth and Power, the show that uplifts the community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Here's your host, Everett Winchester.
Peace and blessings, family. I was trying not to go on this. By the way, please hit that subscribe button. And again, you're tuning in to Real Truth and Power, where we provide health, wealth, and knowledge itself. My name is Everett Winchester. And shout out to You Know channel. Please check out my brother, Y-A-Know, You Know channel. He was talking about this topic, and I decided to chime in myself. Herschel Walker, one of my favorite football players ever, man. Herschel, wow. University of Georgia. He went to the USFL instead of going straight into the NFL. And I'm telling you, if he had went straight into the NFL, his career could have been probably way better. And he had a very good, strong career. But he's a little different. He has some strong comments politically. I think he's a little more on the Republican side, successful brother. Sometimes I agree with him, sometimes I don't. But he says he doesn't think blacks should have reparations. So let's tune into what he was talking about. And please put your comments in. I love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's check it out.
The reason I ask that is whenever I get on a subject, I do facts finding myself. And one of the things I looked up and I asked my mom is, how many African American was alive today that was in slavery, which is none.
Well, let me comment on that first of all. I know I wasn't alive when slavery happened, but slavery has traumatized me still to this day when I'm dealing with racism that I shouldn't have to deal with. When I'm trying to get a loan from a bank and I can't get one, but somebody that's an immigrant that comes into this country that doesn't put in the work I put in gets a loan right away. So let me shut up. Let me let it go. Let it go.
I go to some of the older people for experience, and I remember my mom mentioning, how could we pay for your great-great-grandfather being burned to death? Or how could you pay for your great-great-uncle being hung? And I understand that those pictures are horrible, but right now I think the facts founding is going to be very difficult to go back over history when history is not even taught in school on what we're trying to facts find.
Now let me hold on right there. He said a lot in a little bit of time right here. How can we get repaid for his grandfather, great-great-grandfather, whatsoever, getting hung or getting lynched? You can repay by equal opportunities. We don't have equal opportunities. We don't have equal education. We don't have those equal things. So I'm kind of lost, brother. We haven't gotten repaid. We're not getting equal. You keep talking about equal, but we're not getting equal.
And that's what I think is so difficult, because as I was looking up reparation, which I've been doing for the last year, it is very, very difficult to find facts on different things of the African American history.
Let me educate you right now. Let's talk about slavery. Since you don't think black people should have reparations, are you aware that slave owners received reparations? Because when slavery ended, they were giving money and so forth because they lost business. Are you aware of reparations given throughout by this country and other countries? I'm sorry, by this country and other countries. They've given out reparations. So let's talk about what reparations is. First of all, Brother Herschel, reparations is to repair damage done to a community. And damage has been and is still being done to the African American community. So I'm lost here. Did you research that slave owners got reparations, but the slaves don't get reparations? I'm lost here.
And I think that's what's going to be very difficult in what we're doing right now. And I say, you know, the hard truth is, and I say this, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but I said the African American community have to come together as a group to take care of our own.
Now, right there, he's correct. But I got to question you, Herschel, because you're saying we need to come together and take care of our own. But during this interview, you also mentioned that you're an American and that separation isn't good. Well, how can we take care of our own and say support black-owned businesses and only go to black schools and keep black people uplifted by supporting each other? And at the same time, you're saying football team, and if one player gets one thing, all the other players will be upset, so it should all be equal. I mean, you're confusing me. The bottom line is we can't take care of our own and also take care of other cultures and support other cultures. So you're confusing me. Are you saying support your own and not be separate and be all American? Brother, you look a little confused, but go on.
That's one of the biggest problems we have. We will not take care of our own. You know, I said we cannot, as myself, who grew up in South Georgia, leave that community and leave all the African American kids behind without inspiring them that they can be me.
I agree there. You're an former NFL player, phenomenal physique, great, excellent speaker. You seem like you got a sincere heart, my brother. And you should give back to the community. You should give back to the community. But I got a question. Are you really giving back to the community? Are you living a life? What have you done to give back? So I just question it, but you're right on giving back. Our celebrities like LeBron James, a lot of these guys are giving back. A lot of these guys are being vocal. I don't see you being vocal. I just hear you saying no reparations. But go on, brother.
And I think the way we do this is we get back to remembering where we came from. And you have to be responsible. You know, a lot of things we mentioned today, no one talked about responsibility. You know, I'm from the deep South. I know about racism. And a matter of fact, we talked about the health. You know, everyone think I'm healthy, but I was diagnosed at one time as mentally unhealthy. Because of being bullied as a little kid, because of my weight, because of my speech. But the things that happened to me was dealing with race. And I overcame through education, which is.
Now, let me go back a little bit. You overcame because of education. And please, you guys, put your comments in below. Education. Is education in the school system that you receive different than the school system that our young brothers and sisters are in now? Public schools suck. You send them to a private school with majority white education, they probably have a better chance to survive learning because those private schools are pretty much less distraction, more focus. It's not a daycare, as I think public school systems have become a daycare. We need to fix that situation. But I asked Brother Herschel, what education? Because our education sucked. You didn't go to a HBCU. You went to Georgia. You had a full scholarship. What about the person that can't play football, basketball? What opportunities will they have getting a good education? And how can they overcome? So one of the things we could also ask is better education, money for our school systems, money for trade schools. So if you're not good educationally, you can still get a trade. That could be a part of reparations. So instead of shutting reparations down, Brother Herschel, maybe you should think about what the money could be used for.
One of the major things that I talk to the young people today is education is more important than anything in life, because when you educate yourself, you're able to see the truth for yourself.
Now, that's a powerful statement, educating yourself. But what kind of education? African cultural education? Black History for 1 month education? See, when you start talking about education, you have to really get deep. Are we getting educated economically? Are we getting taught how to invest? Are we getting taught how to save, how to be manufacturers and producers? That's the education we need. But he's not elaborating. He's not elaborating on that. You have to say more than just education. A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't cut it. We need money to provide better schooling, and reparations could be a part of that. But I don't think you're just thinking it as like a handout. But go on, brother.
And I'm not saying that I think HR 40 is absolutely incredible, but I think to just say it's a facts founding is very difficult.
Okay, so let me go on this. For those that don't know, HR 40 is the reparations that they're trying to pass. Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson is my favorite book. I always talk about it. I love that guy. I love that brother. He's saying HR 40 is a good thing, but then you're saying you're not for reparations. So you're confusing me, but you're speaking for black people to a white audience saying that we shouldn't get reparations. But you think HR 40 is a good thing. My thing is, everything isn't about a handout. Everything isn't about a check. Reparations is supposed to help us catch up to other ethnic cultures, especially white culture, economically. And how do we do that? You mentioned education. How about money to go into the HBCUs? How about African culture centers? How about learning about our true history and not the history that you're talking about? So a lot of good things you're saying, but you're missing the bigger point. What you want to do is provide and have everything equal, but we're never going to be equal unless we catch up economically.
And facts founding of reparation, I think this is a little bit. I'm confused at the two right now.
Now I want to pause. You're confused at the two right now. Well, why don't you shut the fuck up? Why are you even talking? Excuse my language. Why are you even talking, brother? If you're confused, again, there's books called Powernomics. Research. You're speaking for the black community and you're uneducated. If you're confused, maybe you should shut the fuck up.
Ezekiel 18:20, the righteousness of the right shall be upon him. The son shall not suffer for the crime of the...
All right, let me stop right here. Now you're reciting the Bible. And that could be one of your mistakes. The oppressor used the Bible, used verses like that you're saying to make us forgive them for the slavery and the oppression and all of the wicked things that they were doing. They flipped those verses. And so it seems like you're willing to forgive with this verse is saying, and not ask for reparations, money for your community?
Father, nor the father suffer the crime of the son, unless either father or son know beforehand the father or son was a criminal. To help any race, provide them with a good quality education and help incentivize through opportunities with responsibilities, which helps generations in the future.
So the only way you can help a race is through education. Well, let's say I'm illiterate. Let's say I struggle learning and putting things together, but I can do things with my hands. Where am I going to go to get equal compensation for that? Are the job equalities equal? Herschel, you played when we weren't even allowed to have black quarterbacks, really. And even to this day, the black quarterback is judged way differently than the white quarterback. And you're speaking in terms of the Bible. Let me shut up.
If reparation is a fee or a correction for a terrible sin of slave owners, government, and others, but we punish the non-guilty party, is it not creating division or separation with different races?
Now, you mentioned reparations creating division of different races. Isn't taking care of your own and only buying from your own a form of separation? Supporting black-owned businesses. You said, Herschel, you said we need to do for ourselves. Isn't that a form of separation? Is it me? It looked like you speaking out of both mouths here. Let me explain, brother. You can't be pro-black and support black-owned and want to have black businesses in your community and give back, and at the same time say we're all Americans and we shouldn't be separated, and we need to do this and that together. So we need some money to uplift and clean up our community. I think that's my form of reparations. I don't need a personal check. I need a check for community centers. I need a check to fix up our schools. I need a check to get better community safety so we can stop this violence and get the drug community fixed up. I need that. That's what reparations can do. And you're saying it's aren't we being separated already? Isn't our community going through things that the white community isn't going through? Herschel, I need you to ask yourself that question. Why? Why is it? And I think it's because people like you that speak this religious type of style don't understand what you're doing. You want everybody to be together, but you don't want to go all the way in to be black.
I feel it continues to let us know we're still African American rather than just American.
So he goes, and what he says, and again, please hit that subscribe button. I hope you guys are loving this information. He says separation, and it's not about being Americans, but at the same time, he says support black owned, and we got to do for us. How about the government take care of some things that they've done, repair some damage that they've done, repair the stand your ground rule, the Diversity Act, which didn't mean everybody come together and be together. It meant a slave owner or one white person per certain amount of slaves. So that was the Diversity Act. Or the Immigration Act, which means that immigrants can come in and be treated like native white Americans. That's the rule. But black people are already here and they're not getting treated like white Americans. So the immigration laws, and I checked the link, I did a video about how the immigration laws are screwing over black people. So it's a big thing. All we want is to get equal economically. All we want is to have the same kind of economy that white people have. Herschel, did you ever hear of Black Wall Street? It was bombed. No reparations for that? Imagine if that was continually going on. Herschel, have you heard of Marcus Garvey and how they did the COINTEL and broke down the UNIA, and we're still building to bring that back? Have you heard of what they did to the Black Panthers? Are you watching those kind of documentaries and movies? So this bothers me. I want to give Herschel a pass. I'm not going to call him a Sambo or a coon. You have to really look into his history. Like he said, he had mental health. What made him a great athlete was he overcame a lot. He was bullied by a lot of white people, called fat. I think he broke the record for push-ups and sit-ups. He used to go and just start doing push-ups and sit-ups. So he used that as his motivation. But somewhere down the line, he didn't understand that there's two different type of worlds. There's our community, and then there is the community that he's a part of, where he wants to make America great again. Let's put it out there. But it was never great for us. So I just asked that brother, and I asked you guys to comment. What do you think? Am I too hard on Brother Herschel? You know, here's a guy who he has a gay son, and he's spoken out. Now, I don't know if his son's gay. His son wound up being a cheerleader or something like that. And he was fighting for his son, saying, you know, whatever the case may be, treat him fairly. He's also saying that he was bullied. So I understand why he has that affection, not just because it's his son, because he's been bullied, and he knows that. But I asked him to look at all of the black Americans that have been bullied, that are continually getting bullied, getting spit in the face, not only by presidents, but by the laws that they're passing. You know, I think Joe Biden is making immigration a big thing. Please, I beg you guys, check the video I tagged in there about how immigration laws have screwed black people over. So, am I too rude on this? Am I too off on this? Am I too hard on the brother? I don't think so. But I'm not going to call him a coon just yet, or a Sambo, because he made some points about some positive things that we could do. But I'm close, Brother Herschel. I need you to come show some receipts of what you're doing, not for Americans, but for black Americans specifically. And then I also need you to, you know, wake up, educate yourself on reparations. So hopefully I wasn't too long, man. Again, hit that subscribe button. We're just trying to get this information out. Please also comment. Your comments are needed to let me know if I'm on point or not. Make those comments. And again, thank you for tuning in to Real Truth and Power, Health, Wealth, and Knowledge of Self. Hotel. Learn yourself. Ashe.
Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self.